Hello, everyone, and welcome to another movie review. And today I actually got a chance to watch an advanced screening of the new film that comes out this Friday, July 15th, titled Where the Crawdads Sing. The film is about a girl named Kaya who is raised in the North Carolina marsh. And in the beginning of the film, you see her family dynamic unfolding. She's the youngest of five kids. Her father is physically abusive. And the first person to leave the family is her mother. Her mother runs away, sneaks out literally out of the house, and she never sees her mother again. So, one by one, her oldest siblings, four of them, leave and run away from her abusive father. And eventually, his drinking and his gambling gets so bad that he too leaves the house. So by the time Kaya is, I guess, 8 or 10 years old, she's living by herself in the North Carolina marsh. And eventually she befriends a kid in the neighborhood named Tate. And then when they get older, we're talking 5 years later, when they're in their teens, they reunite and he teaches her how to read, because in the film you'll find out that she is treated like an outsider. And when she first goes to school, she only actually goes to school for a day because she is teased and bullied by kids in the school. So her first trip to school was so traumatic that she never goes back to school again. So it's not until Tate befriends her when they're teenagers, that she actually learns how to read and write. And Tate teaches her how to read and write, and they fall in love, and he goes off to college. So he promised her that he would come back within a month's time, but eventually he stays away for 5 years. Now, during this time, she falls in love with a guy in town named Chase. And so basically in the film, you have two storylines running throughout. So one storyline is, you're learning about her childhood, and you're learning about her, surviving literally by herself on her own ever since she was 10 years old. That's the first storyline. And the second storyline is a trial going on in which Kaya has been charged with the murder of Chase. So Kaya, played by Daisy Edgar Jones, she doesn't have, an attorney. So someone in the town decides to volunteer to be her defense attorney. And her defense attorney did a very good job at, giving the jury some sort of reasonable doubt as to whether or not she killed Chase. So during the film, you're kind of wondering, did she do it or did she not do it? But it just so happens that later on in the film, you learn as to what happened. Chase and Kaya break up. Chase doesn't take the breakup too well. There's an altercation, and eventually what she says gets taken out of context. And what she said was she said out of anger, "I'm going to kill you if you come near me again." And it just so happens that when he died, she was away at another town talking to a couple of publishers when they decided to pick up her book for publishing, because Tate decided that, you know what, you're such a great writer and you know the marsh so well, you know about the animals, you know everything there is to know about the marsh. Now that you know how to read and write, you should publish your material. So she takes him up on his advice, and the publishers love her work. So it just so happens that she's away during the murder. So throughout the story, you're wondering, well, did she do it or did she not do it? I won't give away the ending. I won't give you any spoilers. But let's just say that um, the acting in this film is very, very strong. Like I said, Kaya is played by Daisy Edgar Jones. These are actors that I'm not familiar with, so I'm learning them for the first time. Tate, her first boyfriend, is played by Taylor John Smith, and Chase is played by Harris Dickinson. Now, there's one thing that I will admit. At some point in the film, Chase physically abuses Kaya. And so what I found very impressive in terms of Harris Dickinson's acting is when you first meet him, you get this uneasy feeling about him. They're like, it's sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like a good guy and a bastard or a jerk can say the same things, okay? And the good guy will have good intentions, but the jerk is, manipulating you. And, you're wondering, what's his motive? What is his intentions? So they can say the same thing, but they don't mean well. They mean two different things. And so the fact that, he has this aura about him where you're just like, I'm something about him reminds me of her father. This goes back to, this is what happens when you hire great actors and they do great work. So I think of all the actors in the film, the one that I really liked the most in terms of how strong their acting was the actor who played Chase, Harris Dickinson. So I really like him in this movie, and it was very compelling to watch. And let's just, go back to Daisy Edgar Jones, who plays Kaya. I really like her a lot. She's riveting to watch. You really can't get your eyes off of her, and she plays Kaya so well. Kaya is a poor girl who always walks around barefooted. When she walks around in the marsh, she's barefooted. When she walks in the beach, she's barefooted. When she went to school for the first time, she's barefooted. So it's not until she befriends a black couple who owns a shop that they treat her with kindness, and they give her shoes to wear and clothes to wear. And the clothes actually come from donations from the church. So, the black couple, Maybell and Jumpin', they're the only people in town who treat her with kindness. And they just so happen to be the only black couple in town. So she's very close to them growing up, and, she loves them, and they're the closest thing that she has to, like some sort of parents, to tell you the truth. Even though they leave her alone, and they let her live by herself in the marsh, so they never really adopt her, but they're always kind to her and they always look out for her. The film is based on a novel of the same name by Delia Owens, directed by Olivia Newman, and one of the producers of the film is Reese Witherspoon. So when I did my research and did a little reading on the book and the plot and the synopsis, the movie doesn't quite clarify certain things, which I think is important to the film. So in terms of acting, strong acting, and in terms of directing, it could have been better. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful. The scenes of the marsh and the birds, very beautiful, well lit, well shot, movie well edited. And I have to say that it took me a while to come up with a score for this film, but I've decided to give this about 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think that's pretty fair. Let me know what you think of the film, and I'll see you in the next movie review. Take care, and God bless.